on the Aggie Sports Network. From Learfield, Aggie basketball has been brought to you by Sports Academy and Racket Club. Your club, your results, your life. Zions Bank. For 150 years of helping you succeed, Zions Bank is for you. Ford. Build Ford proud. Also by Stokes. Stokes Trucking. Doing the right thing since 1979. Welcome to Aggie Postgame. From the All-in-One Flooring America radio booth, here's Scott Jerrod.
Well, in a season that we've seen a lot of drama, a lot of games go right down to the wire, tonight was not one of them. Utah State blows out San José State 105-57, a massive convincing win against the short-handed Spartans. But Utah State did what good teams are supposed to. When you're supposed to win and supposed to win handily, you take care of business.
Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to win by 50. I mean, but what Vegas? Vegas had him at 18 or 16?
Yeah, 16 or 18, somewhere around there.
18, something like that. I mean, that was a shellacking. That was from, I don't know, 4 minutes in, 6 minutes in. It got to like 15, 16, and then, man, just blew the roof off. But give Utah State a bunch of credit. Played really well offensively. Some of the best fast breaks I've seen all year where the ball didn't touch the floor. Loved it. Great basketball. It's the kind of game you want to have. A lot of confidence built, and going into a Saturday game against San Diego State, that's really important. 5
players in double figures for Utah State. Martinez with 22. Akano 13. Falsliff 13. Alberry 10. Tucker Anderson with 11 as well. Utah State picks up the big win. Your post-game show brought to you by Farm Bureau agent Brandon Jensen. Contact him right now, 435-752-4800. It's your future. Time to protect it. We'll continue on with your post-game show. Hear from Coach and Dexter Akano coming up as well, right here on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. This is a story that came to us from a real customer, and I wanted to share it with you.
I'm a new CPAP user. The only thing I knew about CPAP when I walked in the door was that I didn't want to wear one. The introductory class with the respiratory therapist at Alpine was great. I left feeling confident and less intimidated by the whole process.
We love hearing about your experiences. Visit us online at alpinehomemedical.com.
No matter what the conditions, DD Auto and Salvage can get your vehicle up and off your property. Now is the time to plan to make extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage and moving that old vehicle. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy to get rid of your junker vehicles, paying you the most money possible. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204 today.
See store for details.
This is Brent Wallace with Cache Valley Bank, and we understand that concerns about fraud can weigh heavily on you. Your peace of mind is important to us. That's why we're committed to looking out for you and your family. Our team keeps a vigilant eye on your account, and if you ever have concerns or need support, we're just a call or visit away. Whether you need advice or just someone to talk to, our friendly staff is ready to help. We're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors, and we care about your security. Visit your local branch today. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Cold weather is here. Let the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah's fireplace category help you update your home with Napoleon's full line of gas or wood-burning products. Building a new home? Let the professionals at Advanced Fireplace and Stove design and install your fireplace. From traditional to modern, Napoleon has something for every design and every budget. Install a product that will allow your family to make memories for years to come. Stop by at their showroom or visit them at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
This Utah State Aggie broadcast is brought to you by Advanced Fireplace and Stove. Comfort is their business. On News Talk KVNU, where our true colors have always been Aggie blue and white.
Welcome back. You're listening to your post-game show brought to you by Farm Bureau agent Brandon Jensen. Give him a call, 435-752-4800. It's your future. Let's protect it. Well, the Aggies get win number 23 on the season, 13th win in Mountain West Conference play. And joining us now for our post-game conversation, head coach of the Aggies, Jerrod Calhoun. And coach, in a year where been a lot of drama, a lot of crazy finishes tonight, this was a much-needed game for you guys to go out there and win convincingly.
Yeah, I didn't see this one coming, to be honest with you. You never know, how your guys will respond after a tough loss. That New Mexico game was right to the wire, and we didn't finish. And, we didn't sulk. We didn't pout. I thought our leaders of our team, I thought Mason and Ian and Drake have been really good the last 48 hours. There's been a sense of urgency, and we wanted to unleash the beast in every single guy. We talked about that. I watched the Kobe Bryant documentary the other night, and use some of that with our guys. You got to have that killer mentality, Spence. As you know, you've played a lot of basketball. And college basketball, February and March are where legends and teams are made. So we wanted to make sure we were ready to go tonight.
Yeah. Are you just waiting for the season to be over, or are you excited about what's coming next? And it really is a mentality, leadership. Great basketball game tonight. I was telling Scotty, offensively, you guys had a great rhythm. You had a great tempo. And then some of the best fast breaks I've seen where the ball didn't touch the floor, cross the court, cross the street, whatever you want to call it.
We call it riding the wave.
Riding the wave. I mean, some really great fast breaks, and it felt like everyone was involved.
Yeah, what was kind of cool, we have such a brotherhood here. I got that in my office, above my desk, because I truly believe that's what makes this program a little bit different than most, certainly out here on the West Coast. There's a real brotherhood, and Taylor Funk came back and spent a day with us, and I thought it was an unbelievable message. And then we started really digging in to Coach Odom's last team, and kind of what we found was some great similarities. Right now we're 19th in the country in offense. They were 16th. We were 100-something in defense, but that team was 71. So I challenged our guys the last 2 days to try to guard as good as that team, because if you look at that team, Ashworth and Taylor Funk and some of those guys, a lot of similarities, man, between that team and this team. And Spence, I think you hit it on the head. When this team gets stops and gets out and run, we can beat a lot of people. And, we just weren't able to do that at New Mexico and get anything easy. Everything was hard. Tonight the game was easy because we were out on the run most of it.
Dexter got the offense going a little bit, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. He'd been a little quiet offensively over the last few games.
Yeah, I try to convince him to come out of the lineup. Me and him had a heart-to-heart, and we talked about his production as a starter. He was averaging 6 a game. Off the bench, he was averaging 9. He was getting 32 minutes, though, as a starter. I think he liked that. And 25 as a bench guy. So, he's a senior. And when Tuck went out, we inserted him in the lineup. I always go with the seniors this time of year. But I thought Tuck was awesome, and I thought Dex was awesome. And Dex has played better inside the spectrum. So it's just kind of weird. Certain guys play better at certain places.
Yeah, and Dexter has shot it really, really well all season long. Even his first 2 misses were good. I can only ask you this question because you won by 50. I saw a new play. It was Carson dribbled for 24 seconds. Talk to me about it. Have you held that in your pocket? 24 seconds of dribbling, throw it to himself off the backboard, and then finish. I told Scotty when that I was like, just like Jerrod drew it.
They're in there still talking about that last lineup, and when I put KT, I wanted KT to get some more minutes, so. When I put those 3 big guys in, everybody 3 minutes, everybody started dying laughing. I said, "Figure it out, guys. That's what basketball is." But I was happy for Fish. I thought Fish gave us some really good minutes. There's really not anybody that didn't play well. But at the end of the day, you got to turn the page in the morning. The Aztecs roll to town. Unbelievable, memorable games with these guys. I saw some highlights the other night. With the Sam Merrill shot and just different times in this series has been unbelievable. And we got to bring it Saturday night. They're playing great defense. They're holding people to 62.5. It's going to be a physical slugfest. And hopefully this weather can clear up here, and let's sell this thing out because we only got 2 more home games.
Yeah, Saturday night, San Diego State, like you said, it should be crazy. Everything I've heard is, Dutch told them, I'm not going to beg you to play hard anymore.
Yeah.
Player meeting, and they are guarding Boise. Talking to Boise after that game, it was so hard to get anything, and that travels. But I want to go back to New Mexico as well, though, and just get your thoughts on this. I felt like, look, there's no moral victories, but if you're going to lose in New Mexico, I love the way you lost because everyone in that locker room believed they should have won that game, and if you hopefully get the chance to meet him in the Mountain West Conference tournament. It is, we owe him one, and it's
I hope
really,
you're right,
it's
Spence.
really hard to beat a team 3 times. You know that. As the coach that's won twice, you're like, crap, we got to play these dudes again. But then also, I'm serious, in the sense you guys, there were numerous times they could have pulled away and it could have got ugly, but you stayed with it. And I think everyone in that locker room had to believe, man, we let that one get away. We should have won it. And that belief is going to be really important when you face the Lobos again.
Yeah, it was pretty quiet bus ride, plane ride. I was kicking myself after that game because we ran a play there and we didn't execute it really well. Those are the ones that really bother you. But, Spence, I got one better for you. My first year in Division II, I was beat 4 times. So I kind of don't believe you when you say the 3.
I'm telling you.
So in Division II, you play once, and twice, home and away. Then we played them in the conference tournament. Then we turned around for the 4th time and played them in the NCAA tournament, and I lost 4 times.
Dude.
Joe Mazzulla was my assistant. You can look this up.
Really?
We studied. The guy's name's Jim Crutchfield. He trapped, he pressed. He's a legend down at D2 in Florida. And Joe would have a stopwatch and figure out.
He was the dude that was
the
scoring
guy,
140 a game or whatever.
He still does. Yeah. He won the national championship 2 years ago. So
wow.
I don't know if I believe in any myths that Spence is talking about over here, but hopefully you're right.
I want to get your thoughts because I want to get guys shout outs because, I go to some shoot arounds and I see practice and I see how much a guy like Jackson Smith means to a team. And, when he hits that follow-away 3 against Air Force and then the one tonight, and you see the sideline erupt, just what does that mean as a coach to see a guy who puts in all that time and all that effort but doesn't see a lot of playing time, but to get that moment and be able to celebrate that with his
I'm glad you brought that up, Scotty, because he just lit up the A. Great moment for him. I was telling him, our West Virginia Final Four team, we had 4 guys like Jackson Smith. Those guys are so successful, whether it's in the oil and gas business. I mean, they're killing it. Jackson Smith has been unbelievable since I got here. He's as important as anybody we have in the program. He brings it every day. I've never seen a kid. He never complains. He always has a smile. There's been multiple games where I almost put him in. I think if he stays the course, I honestly believe, Scotty, he can play some meaningful minutes here. He's getting better. He makes open shots. He's just a wonderful kid. His mom and dad have done a great job with him, and I was really happy for him tonight.
Well, Coach, I know you want to keep an eye on this Boise State up 64-47 against New Mexico. Tell you what, that's life in the Mountain West. You never know what you're getting game in and game out.
How many do we have left now, Scotty?
4? 4 more left.
Yeah, 4 left. They're all going to be big. So Saturday should be fun, and I know the Aztecs will be ready.
Let's do it.
All right,
Coach,
guys.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. There he is.
You were there, you watched the game, or you heard it all here on KVNU. So now it's your chance to give your thoughts and ask your questions about the action as KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call. The phone line is 435-753-KVNU. The text line is 435-554-1175. KVNU Aggie Game Day is brought to you by Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Heating and Air, Primrose Home Care and Hospice, Blue Sky Restoration, Advanced Garage Door, The Logo Shop, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Golden Spike Electric, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, My Mattress, Riverwoods Conference Center, Cash Valley Bank, Aegis Healthcare, Jarrett's Fine Jewelry, Les Olson IT, Adams Wealth Advisors, DD Auto and Salvage, LSS Insurance Agency, Cafe Sabor, The Sportsman. It's KVNU Aggie Call with J.D. Walker and Stockton Jukes.
Just 12 hours ago, Stockton Jukes posted, I need a 30-point win tonight and a normal foul discrepancy, or I fear JD is going to witness the crash out of the decade. Well, Stockton.
I feel like I just got a deep tissue massage. That was awesome.
We've been asking for it all year. We've said we haven't seen it yet, but we just watched the most complete game of Aggie basketball from start to finish. J.D. Walker, Stockton Jukes with you here on KVNU Aggie Game Day, 102.1 FM, 610 AM. And if you are headed home, get ready for some weather to be blowing in. Checking the radar out there. Some snow flurries dropping throughout the canyon, so be safe getting there. A winter weather advisory kicking off at 11 o'clock tonight and expecting 1 to 3 inches of snow overnight and another 1 to 3 inches tomorrow morning here in Cache Valley. So be prepared for that. Celebrate, have fun, but definitely get home safe. Now, Stockton, no crash out, no nothing. And how you doing right now, man?
Feels great. Yeah, I mean, complete game. I think that one of the most frustrating things coming off of Sunday was, obviously the officiating was very lopsided, and that was frustrating, but one of my biggest takeaways kind of after going back and watching a lot of that game is Utah State had so many chances in the second half to put that game away, and they just could not do it. And, there were some fouls that took away momentum and defensive stops that get nullified by bad calls, and that hurts. But they had plays, they had shots where they could have won that game by a couple points, and I think that was kind of a real kicker of, hey, this is what happens when we don't play complete games, is when it comes down to it, we didn't have to suffer like this for the last 8 minutes of that game. So really good to see them take advantage of a night where they could really remind the country what kind of a basketball team they are. And man, was it just it was relaxing to watch. It was completely different than anything we've watched for the last 2 months with this team. It was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I remember looking at you during the Lobo game, and I pulled my hoodie over my head, and I said, I hate this. It just was that anxiety, stress. None of that tonight. LSS Insurance can help you if you're overwhelmed with Medicare rules and regulations. Call them today, 752-9493. And also, don't let Mother Nature spoil your night. Get a Generac backup generator installed today. Call them at 257-3016. Jalen, I don't have any other words. I just up by 50 chant. We heard the herd tonight. I mean, life is good, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't get much better than that. Team came out from the get-go and just showed them that they were just a more dominant team. They were just better. We kind of expected it, coming from that New Mexico game, because I thought we played well enough to win that game. And I knew, if we play that same way against a team like San Jose, they had us beating them, projected to beat them by 16, but, I figured it would probably be something more than that. And we looked good. We did everything we needed to do. We rebound well. We took care of the ball. Free throws are getting better. Defense is, stymieing people. I think big guys stayed out of foul trouble. You pretty much can't really complain about anything. Everybody got to get in the game and produce some, which is also good for a lot of those guys that may not get to see as much game time, but put in the practice time and everything like that. I think that's important for guys like that to experience that, especially at home. I think that's big for them. So I think a huge confidence boost for us going into Saturday's game, because I think everybody knows Saturday's game is potentially going to be like playing another New Mexico, and it's going to be a physical, just gritty, grinded out game.
And actually currently checking in on the Lobos. They are struggling in Boise right now. In the second half, under 10 minutes to play, 66-52. The Broncos up on the Lobos. Just checking Lobos social media, they're whining about fouls being called. It's kind of a chuckle right now. Is there something, Jalen, that stood out from the game? Nothing to complain about, but what was a couple of the favorite moments that stood out from the performance tonight from the Aggies?
Yeah, I just thought defensively we were really good. I thought our execution on fast breaks and different things like that, just like you guys said, it was just flawless. It looked good. The guys looked relaxed. They looked like they were having fun. That's what I want to see, a team that looks connected, guys that make and take big shots. And like I said, I really, truly think it's important when guys like Jackson Smith, Jordy Barnes, Isaac Davis, guys like that put in a lot of time, are very good teammates and stuff like that. They get a chance to go out there and play in front of a home crowd. Those are the things that stand out to me in games like this, because I thought just from the get-go, we showed them that we were meaning business tonight, and we have 4 remaining games. I think we got to continue to play with this fight, that hunger, having fun, making things happen defensively, make big shots. I think we do those things the remaining 4 games. We are going to be sitting in a really good spot. So I'm excited to see if we can keep that going for the game on Saturday, because the last 2 games, realistically, I know we got beat by New Mexico, but realistically, our team has looked good and they've played well.
Talking to Jalen Moore here on KVNU Aggie Call. You can sound off 435-554-1175 for the text line. That's 554-1175. Jalen, how do you feel this sets us up for that San Diego State matchup? It'll be coming up this Saturday. How do you feel about the Aztecs coming to town now after this performance? And actually going back to the Lobos game, yes, missed opportunities to win, but also going toe-to-toe with the Lobos, slugging it out in the pit. I feel like we might be seeing the Aggies hitting their stride and hitting on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, and this is the best part to do that. You don't want to be plateauing or getting worse as the month of March arrives. The best teams, they start getting better, playing together as a team, making big shots. Like I said, taking big shots, looks like we've gotten our free throws more under control the last 3 games, so I'm excited to see that too. But I think San Diego State is going to come into the Spectrum feeling how we did going into the pit. I think San Diego State felt like they let one get away from them, had a big lead on us at their place. And like we said, guys like Tucker and them were taking and making big shots. And I feel like they felt like that's a game that got away from them. So I think they're going to come in with some tenacity, intensity, enthusiasm. They're playing great defense. Coach Dutcher's really challenging his guys. Like, I think this is going to be a huge game coming up on Saturday. Top 3 teams in the standings. It's got a lot riding on it. And if we can take care of business and beat San Diego State twice in the season, you're doing some things right because they are pretty dominant in the Mountain West.
Talking to Jalen Moore here on Aggie Call. Jalen, before I let you go for the night, tell us where we can connect with you with next level basketball prep training here in Cache Valley. We're in the thick of the playoffs going on. I believe we had some prep basketball tonight. We got represented from all around the state. So where can they find you to get training, advice, and also we mentioned earlier on Aggie Game Day about help with recruiting and moving to the next level if your athlete wants to go play collegiate ball. And it is such a wild west out there. Having somebody like Jalen and their organization to help you out, definitely a way to help guide that. Jalen, where can they find you?
Yeah, for sure. The best way, find all that information, training, coaching, our travel teams, all that kind of stuff. The best thing we'll do to visit our website at nextlevel435.com. And then if you want to get in touch with me directly, email would be best, and that's nextlevelbasketball435@gmail.com. And our website will also have some contact information. So, if you are looking for that kind of stuff, our website will have everything, and that was nextlevel435.com.
All right, Jalen, take care. We'll see you next time.
Awesome. We appreciate you guys.
All right, here with KVNU Aggie Game Day Stockton. I'm going to grab the phone real quick.
Yeah, let's dip into the text line just a little bit. Obviously, complete game is huge, 93-15. Complete game from tip to final buzzer, never let off the gas for 2 halves. And also, did everyone that went on the court make a basket? Yes. When you look at the stat sheet here, every single person that appears on the live stats for Utah State has a point next to their name, which means everyone that played for Utah State scored a bucket tonight. It was really fun to see. Jackson Smith hit that 3. Jordy had that drive layup at the very end of the game to make sure he got on the score sheet. Isaac Davis obviously had that layup, but then going 1 for 2 for the tech that he picked up on the flagrant. I thought it was a really good game by every single person that stepped on the court. I will say, I'm confused a little bit by Jordy Barnes and that he hasn't quite been at the level that we saw him earlier on in the season. He seems hesitant to shoot the ball. He seems like he does not want to be the guy.
And he gets him sometimes
to score.
He'll get him on the corner, man. Yeah. He's got the speed where all of a sudden, bam.
I would love to see him get more comfortable taking shots like that because I think we've seen he's capable of making shots. So
as soon as he develops that, he's going to become more and more of a weapon. And realizing he's still a freshman, working on it and getting in. My highlight of the game, it's a tie. It's a toss-up between that dunk that Drake did.
I clutched my pearl. I screamed on accident. I didn't mean to scream, but I did.
Yeah, my wife joined us watching the game, and we had dinner watching the game. She sat right next to me. The Drake dunk and then Templin on that block because he was stalking him from behind. Like when he got the pick off, that guy was going just like nonchalant. And Carson was licking his chops, and as soon as he go up there and block that. But the highlight, the play of the night for me, didn't even happen during playing time. It was after Isaac Davis missed that first technical or flagrant free throw, and he did the ghost high fives. I thought that was the funniest thing that I'd seen in a game forever, and that just endeared him more to me. The fact that he's just going through there and does it, makes the next one. The whole place explodes for 100 points. And the last time we got a text to ask it was against Westminster on the 13th of November. So it has been a minute. Going to the phone lines now, 435-753-KVNU, 753-5868. My man Leo on the phone. Leo, how you doing? What's on your mind?
The Aggies played amazing today.
They did. What was your favorite part about the game?
It was very cool.
Which one of the guys on the team, Leo, is your favorite player?
Drake Allen. He did really good.
Did you like that dunk he had when he just went in there? And did you go crazy when you saw that?
Oh, yeah, I went so crazy.
Oh, so did Stockton and I, man. You'd have been there right with us. Hey, Leo, thanks for calling tonight. We appreciate you listening to Aggie Call, man.
Yep.
You have a good one, okay?
You too.
If you want to join the conversation, 435-554-1175. That is the text line. The phone line, 435-753-KVNU, 753-5868. Just a little bit of heads up. We are below freezing here at the KVNU studios. The National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory coming in at 11 o'clock, just over an hour away. But we are having some moisture move into the region. So if you do have to travel through the canyons or make any sort of plans home here from Logan and Cache Valley down south or up north, please be careful out there and probably best to get on the road as soon as possible. Stockton Jukes, J.D. Walker with you here on KVNU Aggie Call. Waiting for Coach Calhoun's post game. I imagine Dexter Akano was who we were going to get on the press round, so waiting to hear that. We got more on the text line.
Yep, so moving up 6-0-0-1. When Tucker gets good minutes, the defense feels better. Hopefully he can keep playing good and get minutes. Yeah, I mean, we know that he's been getting limited minutes because that ankle was sore, and when he rolled it over, that takes some time to heal up. We got very lucky that there wasn't any serious damage.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, I think he looks great, and he is a boost to the defense. Jason put out something about, or no, excuse me, it was the Ag Ship that put out something about the team's defensive efficiency since Tucker left the team, since he's been hurt. And Tucker adds about a positive 7 or 8 points in terms of efficiency rating to the defense for Utah State. The next closest is Isaac Johnson at like a plus 2.0.
Tucker's got, not only does he have the length, the tallness of what he has, the height, he's got that wingspan that gets him out there too. So when he's on defense, he's a formidable piece in front of whoever's handling the ball. He is so wide with his wingspan that it shuts down the passing lanes. And yeah, we've seen that when he is in there. The Aggies have done it really well on defense. And tonight, man, he just loves the home cooking shooting here in the Spectrum. He just really enjoys that. From Jason Walker at the Full Court Press, Utah State 105, San Diego State 57. The Aggies dominate this one, setting the new highest margin of victory, plus 48 in a conference game for the Mountain West era. Ian Martinez with 22 on the night. Every Aggie that took to the court tonight made at least one field goal. Yeah, everybody on the stat sheet got into scoring.
That's got to be, if not the largest, close to the largest margin of victory in conference this year. I can't think of any other massive blowouts. Obviously, it's going to take a long time to comb through all the final scores in the Mountain West this year, but trying to think about any standout scores, I really haven't seen anything.
It's really been a close year in the Mountain West. Everybody's been battling pretty hard.
I mean, there's been some typical blowouts of like Air Force and Fresno and San Jose because
they're Air Force, Fresno, and San Jose.
But you also have to note, you want to know what the one loss is in the New Mexico's conference record column? It's San Jose State, which is crazy to think about. And also for any interested parties, Boise State leads 74-59 with 6:20 remaining, and they have the ball. So it's looking pretty good. Karma is swift and merciless, Lobo fans.
From Jason Walker on the Full Court Press, after further digging, the 48-point win is the largest win in any conference game in Utah State history. Ladies and gentlemen, we have something special here with Coach Calhoun and this group. Being able to put this together and respond. Also saw Eric Franson talking a little bit earlier this week about how the Aggies, if they drop one, the next 3 games they come out and they handle business. So the Aggies holding a court on that one, and waiting for Jason to upload those interviews, Dexter Akano and Coach Calhoun soon. We got more on the text line there, Stockton.
Yep, 52-94. When was the last over 100-point game for Utah State? November 13th against Westminster. 113 or 114 points. 117-53 was the final score in that one. I think that's all the text that we have for right now. Not a super busy night tonight. I know a lot of people got to go to work tomorrow, school tomorrow. I've got class at, I think, 9 in the morning. I should probably check my class schedule. I keep forgetting.
I get to come in here and harass Craig at 5 a.m., so I'm looking forward to that. That's always fun on the KVNU Morning Show. J.D. Walker, Stockton Jukes with you. It's KVNU Logan, 102.1 FM, 610 AM, and around the world to Aggie fans at kvnutalk.com. If you would like to join the conversation, 435-753-5868. That's 753-KVNU. Caller, welcome. You're on the air. What's on your mind?
I was just wondering why Ian wasn't playing usually like how he did.
Well, I think what we saw from Ian tonight, and thanks for the call, I think what we saw from Ian tonight was the kind of when you get up to a certain point, when the herd's chanting up by 20, up by 30, up by 40, up by 50, I think that's when Coach is going to kind of pull his other guys out, right?
Well, nobody played more than 27 minutes tonight. Ian played 24. I think it's just they were up by a ton. I mean, that game stopped being in question at halftime, I think, and maybe even before that. But especially with the way that they came out firing and hitting 50% of their threes in the second half. They actually started the second half 5 for 5 from 3, and that's when it really just got unmanageable for San Jose. So I think they're just trying to protect their guys. They're going to need Ian, kind of like Jalen was saying. It's going to be a tough game on Saturday. San Diego State's gotten better since we played them at Viejas, and they're starting to get into that picture for the second seed. We heard some of the guys talking about how it's kind of a race for the second seed in the Mountain West at this point. New Mexico, a loss tonight at Boise would be big for Utah State's chances, but they would still need New Mexico to lose 2 of their final 4, which is a big ask because the head-to-head, if they end up tied in conference record, New Mexico still ends up as the 1 seed. So
we need New Mexico to drop 3.
And again, I think a bigger picture March Madness as well, you've got to keep that in mind as well as the conference tournament seeding. So you've got to be really, really close, and I think just really, really good. You got to emulate this kind of performance going forward because you've got a couple tough games coming up. San Diego State on Saturday, that's going to be tough. But then a week from tonight, you've got a late-night game in Boise, which is going to be tough because Boise's gotten better since we played them here. Colorado State at Fort Collins will be tough. I was surprised about how well we handled Colorado State, so I'm not too stressed about that one. And then Air Force in the Spectrum to end the season's a nice way to send yourself to the tournament, but you cannot get lazy. So you've got to be real sharp for the Final Four. Final Four.
For the Final Four. I like that. 8070, do we know exactly what happened for the flagrant foul? From what we saw, it was going down the court. Isaac Davis was running there with him. The player just kind of extended his arms, pushed him to the floor. And that's just kind of what it was. They went through and reviewed it. Kind of frustration when you're down by 50 and the team's still playing. Look, you don't stop. I'm of the school, you don't stop. The other team is there to stop you. If they're not stopping you, they're not doing their job. Your job is to continue to execute. And for what I will say is the first game of the season, it is an A-plus execution from front to end. We could probably find something to complain about, but it's probably going to have to do something with the broadcast or mentioning Keith Van Horn on the broadcast.
And I know there are some people who are sticklers about sportsmanship and scoring late in blowout games. It's Division I basketball.
Yeah, you got it.
It's not the rec league anymore. Yep. We've got to be able to finish games, and Utah State especially, I'm glad they took advantage of this because they need to feel what it's like to dominate a game for all 40 minutes just to know they can do it. And that's something that's going to bode well for them on Saturday.
I'm going to go through these last couple of texts. I've got Coach Calhoun and Tucker Anderson post-game coming up. 7068, best play, fast break, 3 passes, side to side without a dribble for a layup.
I love the 3-man weave.
Oh, man, and Drake Allen with the behind the back. He looked pretty slick out there tonight.
Drake had some killer court vision tonight. He was rifling some sidearm, no-look, one-handed passes that were just about right on target. And, again, that dunk. I'm not wearing pearls right now, but I was clutching them when he hit that dunk. It was crazy. So I'm really pleased with his output tonight.
39. All right, 9315. You owe me a Coke Zero for having to do math at 10 o'clock at night on a Wednesday.
I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna upset you now that you've done the math.
39 points.
No, when you go into split box on the live stats, it'll tell you how many points came off the bench. There's a little line for it.
Well, I got the Starship Enterprise in front of me, man. I got to make sure that I'm not touching don't press the nuclear button over here that shoots the nukes out of the back of the radio ranch here. So I'm trying, but I was doing quick math there for you. 39 points from the bench. Did you see how many times we sealed off the lane, the Junior Joseph move? That works if they don't call a foul. Yeah, it's it's one of those things. Also from 2806, Josh Duge seemed to be a non-issue tonight. Was it something we did?
I think it's because he's not used to being on the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
And I know there were some people cheering for him when he would make buckets and stuff. And I did like the cheering for him at the free throw line because I thought like that's a great way to throw a guy off. You're not used to people wanting you to make your free throws. Other than that, I don't think that there's a reason to ever cheer for an opponent for any reason whatsoever. I know he played a bad game. I stand by my comments from earlier.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think that hearing the Herd chant, "We love Josh," and he missed both the free throws, is kind of ironic and funny.
The funniest part of it was after he missed both of them, the Herd started chanting, "Josh misses us." See, that's the kind of back and forth that I like. I like the little jabs, the little jeering, and it's all friendly because we love Josh around here, and we're not nasty fans. I know that some people can be, and I know that social media is a different landscape, but from what I see from the Herd in person, I don't think we've ever really gotten too crazy. I know there's been some allegations that have been disproven time and time again. One involved a certain fire extinguisher, but my point is that Josh just is not used to receiving that from the Herd. He was used to being one of the heroes of the Herd last year. He's a big part of the run that we made in the tournament game that we won. But having to come back as a team that is just not doing well this season and wasn't feeling it tonight by any means. Their shooting did improve a little bit in the second half, but they were really struggling. And Utah State, again, played a complete game for the first time tonight, which I don't think I mean, if you've scouted them well, you know that there's a slump at some point in the late first half or early second half for Utah State. It just never came. San Jose State, they never gave them a foothold to get back in the game, and I think that's what you got to continue to do.
It was the most complete performance I have seen from the Aggies this season. It was definitely a thing of beauty. I will not be changing any of my pregame routine, and now my wife's going to have to come watch the rest of the season with us every game. Yeah, sorry, honey, you're committed to that now. We're going to go ahead and hold on a second. Got one call coming in. Stockton, can you help me out?
Yep. All right. So 89-68. If the flagrant foul had been in New Mexico, the Aggies would have got the foul. Yeah. I want to go back to how many times we sealed off the lane thing, because one of the things that drove me nuts about Nelly Jr. Joseph is that he'll get into that position and he'll hook his arm around guys, and as soon as they move, he'll just flop and he'll fall over. And Utah State got baited by that so much on Sunday. But they were just stronger, faster, and better at getting into position. Tonight, I think part of the reason that they got called for so many fouls is because New Mexico's a very quick team, and they were able to get to the same spot as them at the same time, which confuses officials a lot. It's the same as in baseball. Tie goes to the runner, where, if you got two guys going to the same spot and one of the guys falls over, you're going to give the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player. So New Mexico knew how to take advantage of that, but Utah State, I think, learned a lot from getting burned like that.
Going to the phone line, James calling Aggie Call. James, what's on your mind?
Hey, guys, I really liked your last comments when you were talking about a complete game, which I agree completely with you. I thought tonight was, on both ends of the court, offensive and defensively, being aggressive and really playing hard. And they did it, for the 40 minutes, so I thought that was really good. I wanted your opinion on, so this game tonight being a complete game, with them playing as well as they did tonight, can that carry over against San Diego State and see another great game from these guys playing this team coming in Saturday?
I absolutely think so. Eric did some research about the bounce back. We've been waiting for a complete game all season. I feel like this is the time when the recipe from Coach Calhoun that he has been cooking all season is really starting to come to fruition. Like, it's in the oven. You can smell it throughout the house. It's they're hitting their peak right now. And watching how they played that game against New Mexico, yes, there were opportunities that were left on the floor, but they slugged it out. And with the foul differential, with everything, they were still in that and to the final play. I think we are seeing the best Aggie basketball from that New Mexico game to today. I think they're hitting on all cylinders. Stockton, how do you feel about this going in? I feel like this is a great setup for the Final Four.
Yeah, I think you have to continue this momentum. I personally wish that they could have played this kind of a game a couple games ago against like Fresno State. That being said, better late than never, and this is really crunch time. We're keeping an eye on this New Mexico game. It's not looking great for the Lobos. Obviously, anything can happen in the final 3 minutes, but even then, New Mexico is going to need to lose 2 more, and we're going to need a lot of help if things are going to go perfect.
Yeah.
But this is a great sign as far as what we can control, and that's all you can really do is just play the games you have to play and control what you can control. If you do those things well, then you're putting yourself in a good position.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited for Saturday night. Thanks, you guys. Fun listening to you.
All right. Take care, James. Thanks for calling Aggie Call. With J.D. Walker and Stockton Jukes here, we're going to go ahead and punch up Tucker Anderson's post-game comments. Thank you to Jason Walker from the Full Court Press for getting that for us. We'll update you on that. It's 82-68 with just about 2 minutes to play. Boise State up by 14 over the Lobos in Boise. We will update that and also have Coach Calhoun's thoughts coming up here on KVNU Aggie Game Day. Here's Tucker Anderson.
Random stat, I think Utah State's won by 40+ every time you've scored 10 points in this building. Seems like you're the secret to success.
Man, I just, I think I want it so bad being in this building in front of these fans. And, one thing about Calhoun's offense and the guys I'm playing with is I'm going to get open shots. So just, trying to stay ready to knock them down. And saw a couple go through tonight and kind of felt the momentum. And, teammates kept finding me the ball. I mean, I think that transition by Drake Allen right through the behind-the-back pass for my dunk, it just kind of shows the unselfishness of this team. Like, he could go get himself one, but he gives it to me and, tries to help me get going. So I think that just really shows, what our team's about. So.
Drake followed that up with the behind-the-back pass too on the three-pointer, right?
True, yeah, back to back.
Mm-hmm. How did that feel to knock that down? He gave you the finger ground.
I mean, Drake's. I think of Drake almost like a big brother to me. Like he's the guy that's always talking to me, always telling me to keep shooting. It doesn't matter if I'm going to be 0 for 6 or start out how I did, like 3 for 4. And so he's going to always find me, as I said. And the way our offense is, I'm going to get open looks. And so he told me he's going to get me some tonight, and he sure gave me some good passes tonight. So.
Tucker, you've had kind of a pattern, I'll say, of hitting shots, playing well on the road, but struggling a little bit here. How good does it feel to kind of break that and have a great game like this?
Man, it feels good. I still wish I would have made some more shots because all of them were open tonight. But I mean, it feels amazing. Like I said, just being in this atmosphere for the first time this year and just seeing the amount of people that show up and support. It's like all I want to do is play good for them, and so. It felt really good to be able to give that to our fans tonight and be able to, close the second half out without a kind of a stressor tonight. So.
And Tucker, with that, coming off a loss from New Mexico, what's the feeling mentally having a win like this?
Mm-hmm. It's huge. One thing we've really talked about is defensive stamina. And there were times in the second half we gave up some easy points, but we just talked about how we know what we're capable of, and it's really, what we can do and trying to focus on our strengths and coming out in the second half and not looking at the score and just playing as hard as we can for 20 minutes in that second half. Because we seem to have really good first halves, but second half defense is where we struggle, so we got to keep getting better at that.
We focus on the offense, but you mentioned the defense, and you yourself had a pretty good defensive game, getting the block and some of the big plays. How big was that to not only have the triple-digit scoring game, but also hold a team below 60 as well?
Yeah, no, that's huge, and I think it goes back to that defensive stamina, and I think, we show at times how good we are defensively, and, kind of like I said, I think our first half defense, I think we showed in film we're one of the best in the country with first half defenses, but right now we haven't been as great in the second half, so to kind of put a game together and hold a team and, to be able to have that defensive stamina and run around and have the same mentality for 40 minutes was huge for us.
Tucker Anderson's post-game comments on KVNU, brought to you by Cafe Sabor for the best authentic Mexican experience in Cache Valley. Check them out for lunch or dinner. Cafe Sabor, proud sponsors of the KVNU Aggie Game Day. And now, thoughts from Mr. Coach Calhoun.
Yeah, I thought our guys, didn't let one loss correlate to another. We talked about mindset the last 48 hours. Credit to our leaders of our team, Ian and Mason and Drake. Some of those guys that have been around college basketball, they understand, the highs and the lows and lows. So just to have the attention to detail, the defense, the physicality, the rebounding in this game, really, really proud of our guys. And, really happy for Jackson Smith. I talked a lot about him in the locker room. He's why you get into college basketball. I think we're losing some of the purity of college basketball and team. That's what makes this job really special. We have a lot of that. We have guys that really value the jersey, and Jackson's one of those guys. When I got here, he's been unbelievable, those 5 kids. But Jackson's one of the guys that never gets credit. So for him to go in the game and make made that shot, see the the reaction of his teammates, I think that shows you what he brings to our team. So a lot of times the scout guys get no credit. To me, that was pretty awesome to see him light that A tonight.
Seems like everybody kind of had their moment. Tucker had some moments. Isaac Davis got a quick throw to put you to 100. Seems like everybody had their moment to really, shine in the sun and get the crowd up on their feet.
Yeah, credit to our crowd too. I mean, Paul said before the game the snow started coming down pretty good. I usually don't get outside much. I've been trying to take some walks with my wife actually the last week or two. It's actually been pretty calming for me. So I've been getting outside during this cold. But for people to come and drive and spend the time and the energy and the money to come in here tonight, it's pretty awesome. And I thought the environment was really good. I thought the students once again brought it. And, they really treated Josh, I thought, with the respect that he deserves. That team last year was pretty special. There's only been 2 teams ever in the history of this school to win an NCAA tournament game. And, I told Josh, as long as I'm the coach, which hopefully is going to be for a long time, he's always welcome. He's a Class Act kid. And, in this landscape, you can't, as crazy as it sounds, you can't have, any hard feelings for kids because you're going to see more and more of this as the time goes.
That said, obviously, kind of a rough game after he made those first 2 baskets. I think it was so.
Yeah, he hasn't played in a couple weeks. Him and KT are buddies, Mason, Jackson, all those guys. We knew he'd play in this game. He's been having some back issues, and I give him a lot of credit for just playing. But we knew he's a big focal point of their team, right? He gets 16 a game, and we wanted to crowd him and make life hard on him. And he struggled. I mean, 2 for 14, 0 for 4. Credit our guys and our defense. I've been, on our 2 defensive guys, Coach Hout and Coach Robinson. I thought they've been phenomenal the last 2 days in teaching and, not overreacting. And, we've changed some things. There's possessions we go man. And I think it's been really good. And tonight was the first time we'd really done that. And we got to continue to build on that.
Coach, how much of this tonight was kind of a, I'll say, blowing off steam type of thing?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, we're back, we're here, that loss, doesn't define us like you said.
Yeah, Mark, I like that line. Coach Dutcher told his team the other night, last night I heard on the broadcast, play like your hair's on fire. I just told our guys, take ownership. To me, it's about ownership of the team. The coaches can do a lot, but at the end of the day, the players got to carry out what we've taught them the last 2 days. And, they took tremendous ownership. Every time out, it was about getting stops and about the right things, rebounding. But, I think our guys played angry. I think they played connected, and I think they played really tough.
This is the most complete game to this point?
Early in the season, that first month seemed like we were getting 100 quite a bit. Obviously, this competition's a little bit better. This will help our numbers. We have a tendency, as Jason knows, hopefully he can update those in the morning. We take a look at them. But, when you blow out teams like this, it really helps your numbers. It helps your net, helps Ken Palm. Played better on both sides. Taylor Funk did a really good job. He spoke to our guys 2 days ago, part of Coach Odom's team that went to the NCAA tournament. And what a phenomenal person, first and foremost. He only played here 1 year. And he gets all-star break in the G League. He's having a great year, and he comes back to Logan. And, he was 5 years at St. Joe's, or 4 years at St. Joe's. So I think that speaks volume to the brotherhood we have here. His message was unbelievable. But then we started digging into the numbers of that team compared to our team this year, and it's very similar. But the difference was defense, right? We're 19th in the country in offense. That team was 16th. They were 71 in defense. We're 100-something. Now we'll hopefully climb up and get better. But it was just funny, you know, him comparing that team to our team and the way the transition, you know, how Coach Odom's team really, you know, pushed tempo. And that's what we do. And I thought tonight we played as good as we could in transition. I mean, but you can't play in transition, guys, if you don't play defense. And we got to keep doing that.
How big was it for the team? Like, you've had some games where you dominated teams for 20, 25 minutes, kind of let them back in a little bit.
Yeah.
That obviously didn't happen in the slightest today. You guys couldn't check in the throw.
Yeah. I think that line was talked about, that exact comment. It's somebody, I don't know who was yelling that in one of the huddles, but Jason, that's another good line. You know, we just talk about playing the possession, you know, like, I don't know, man. College basketball nowadays, you know, kids get all excited. I mean, the dunk was unbelievable. I mean, Drake Allen's dunk was incredible, but, like, we got guys on the floor. You know, you can get a technical on that. It's just trying to get guys to play the next possession and not overreact to good, bad, indifferent. I think that's the battle we have nowadays as coaches. There's a lot of high, there's a lot of low. But you're right. I mean, we have not been able to finish and compete in the last, you know, I'd say 12 minutes of almost, you know, the last 4 or 5 games. We've showed signs, you know, but the difference is, you know, guys like Dex, guys like Tuck, Alban, KT, Fish, you know, this depth of this team is scary good, and that's kind of how we constructed it for February and March. And I talked to him about taking ownership this time of year. You know, like, just follow what we're telling you, the plan, value the ball, which we have for, you know, pretty much all year. We're one of the best passing teams in the country, but it's really about rebounding in our defense. We do that, I think we had a chance to beat anybody.
Were you nervous, Bryce Davis, sitting out there for that 100th point?
No, I mean, you know, ID is, you know, he's like my gentle giant on the team. He's got a lot of talent. Right? I mean, he's big, he's strong, he's athletic. You know, when our coaches have to guard him, they're bruised up. I mean, Coach Manny was a great defensive player. I think he was 2 or 3-time defensive player of the year at Winthrop. He went to 4 NCAA tournaments. Mantoris Robinson was a great player. When ID throws him around like a rag doll. You know, so we've got to get ID, you know, more and more minutes. I think down the stretch you're going to see him play even on Saturday.
What does a win like this do for you? You've only got 4 conference games left. What does this do to kind of give you a boost into those last 4 games?
Well, I hope it helps our numbers. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about the numbers this time of year, right? It's about metrics. It's about Ken Palm. It's about, you know, there's 5 other, you know, key factors, right? Key things that they're going to look at. So you got to take care of business when you're supposed to take care of business. And, you know, one thing about our team this year, we have not lost to anybody that really we were not supposed to lose to. We don't really have a bad blemish. You could say UC San Diego, but their numbers are pretty good. You know, we'll see where they finish up. Outside of that loss, you know, we need UNLV to win games. We're all running Rebel fans right now, and we hope they win because we want our numbers to look good. And we want to get in the NCAA tournament because at the end of the day, if this team gets in, I think they can do. We can make a run.
How much does the influence of the numbers impact? Like, a lot of times you get in these games, sometimes you want to put backups, and like, how much does that impact? Like,
a lot.
How do you push that back?
It's kind of sad. It's kind of a shame. But, you know, there's a cutoff mark. You want to make sure you get to that cutoff mark. But, yeah, I think you want to put the pedal to the metal this time, you know, a year. I mean, I can't play Ian and Mace out there. I think they came out like 7-minute mark, and then Ian came out at 6. But, yeah, you're right. You want to score, and you want to play good defense.
Coach Calhoun's post-game thoughts after the Aggies light the A blue for their 24th win of the season. Stockton, J.D. Walker with you here. Final thoughts before we get going. And also, I just told Stockton this. Almost spaced it. Dallin from the Herd reached out and wanted to let everybody know the Herd is doing a fundraiser tomorrow at Raising Cane's from 5 o'clock to close here in Logan. They get 15% of the sales, and they're putting it all towards student tickets at the conference tournament. All you got to do is mention that you're there for the Herd. So tomorrow night, no home cooking.
Go get those tendies, folks.
Yeah, go to Raising Cane's, get those tendies.
Only 4 weeks away.
Yeah, tell them the Herd sent you. That way we can get as many of these kids down to the Mountain West tournament and make that Thomas and Mack the Spectrum South coming up here. Stockton, final thoughts on tonight. No complaints, no group therapy. Everybody's in a good mood.
I'm in a great mood now that New Mexico just lost at Boise.
That's
see what
true,
happens
too.
when these guys don't get bailed out by 14 extra fouls. Crazy.
Yeah, there was an ejection in that one, but it was a fan that got ejected and held things up.
Those
for,
are the best kind.
A couple minutes. I've heard we've actually had a couple of Herd members over the history get ejected.
The one thing I do want to mention that I don't think we mentioned yet on the show is that Utah State shot above a 52% in every statistical category that they track shooting percentages in. I think it was like 52.6 field goal, 53-something 3-point, and 75% from the free throw line, which those are numbers that make me smile, and I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight.
Yeah, it's like an exceptional night's sleep with my mattress and the A Blue. Don't forget, tomorrow at Raising Cane's, 5 to close here in Logan. 15% of the sales are going to the Herd to help them get to the conference tournament. We'll be talking about that tomorrow morning on the KVNU Morning Show with Craig Hislop and Will Fieldwright. Well, for Stockton Jukes, I'm J.D. Walker. Until we see you guys this Saturday, we'll do it all over again. Stockton, sound good? Yep.
Tomorrow we find out the football schedule.
Oh, that's right. We got
our
that
final
too.
Mountain West football schedule.
Final before we go to the Pac-12. For Stockton Jukes, I'm J.D. Walker. Be safe out there if you're driving home. That storm coming in around 11 o'clock tonight. Be safe, Aggie family, and we'll see you next time here on KVNU.
This Utah State broadcast has been a presentation of News Talk KVNU and the Cache Valley Media Group, the heritage home for the Aggies.